Welcome to my Sakura Hills 9-hole cup rookie walkthrough video. My name is Matthew, and in this video I will walk you through the shots I will use and some of the possible alternatives. This is a guide and is not meant as the absolute solution, but more like a starting place to begin your note-taking process and help you prepare for the tournament. Play according to your clubs, balls, and skill level. And please remember that this walkthrough does not feature the actual tournament win we will see, as that will only be known once the tournament begins. Let's get into it. We begin the tournament with a beautiful par 4 from the Sakura Hills course. I set up this shot with an extra mile and any ball that I feel comfortable with, starting with a basic ball all the way up to a kingmaker or better. The idea here is that you can push this drive as hard as your current clubs and skill level will allow. I like to use maximum topspin and maximum right spin at 10% downhill elevation. Bounce over the bunker as I do, or play your landing spot to the left of it. The further you manage to get down the fairway, the better your chances of scoring an important opening hole eagle. My second shot is played from long iron range, so as per most typical rookie setups, I choose to use the backbone in this situation. I adjust for 10% downhill elevation here and apply 2 bars of backspin. Go straight at the hole and try to avoid landing on the sloped sections of the green for a more consistent result. Obviously, a club with greater ball guide here will be a really big help. Hole 2 is a very straightforward par 3. I played this shot at 10% downhill elevation and use a ball with as much wind resistance as you can afford, such as a Navigator or a Kingmaker, even though you see I've got the basic ball. Make sure to bring your favorite long iron club, such as a Backbone or a Saturn. I like to set up here with the top of my red ring touching the fringe and the left side of the blue ring just dipping in the bunker as my landing spot reference. The predominant plan here is to use about 3 bars of backspin, depending on wind, and go straight at the hole. To me, walking away from hole 3 and rookie with an eagle is a very respectable score. With this low-level extra mile and a basic ball, we will struggle to fly over to the second fairway, so I play the layup over the bunker with 1 bar of topspin at 10% downhill. Perhaps if I had stepped up to a power 3 ball and used some overpower, I could have gone further, but that also increases the risk of ending up in the rough or behind those trees on the left because they are absolutely in play. Just these ones you see just poking out on the screen on the left there. It would have been completely sensible to bounce over the small strip of rough here and roll up nicely beside the green for a short chip in. However, I decided to push my luck a little by using overpower and left curl. My official recommendation is to bring a wood club with more distance, such as a big dog, and just do your best to get the ball to green with a bar or 2 of backspin. In this example, I play with a basic ball and a backbone level 1. Sadly, with this short of a ball guide, I had to rely on knowing that the landing position is the yellow ring touching the rough, and what ball guide we do have is aimed directly at the pin. As well, make sure to use a small amount of topspin coming into a headwind, but in a tailwind, we will use a small amount of backspin. Typically, rookie players don't see a ton of headwind, but you can expect to see it on at least 1 par 3 per tournament. I adjust this shot at 10% downhill elevation. I find hole 5 to be particularly challenging with low-level clubs. Adjusting for 10% downhill elevation with my extra mile level 1 and a basic ball, we need to be sure to use the maximum amount of topspin to hopefully get as close to the end of the first fairway as possible. I use a bit of overpower to compensate for being underclubbed for the situation, but if I hit perfect, it's not a problem. However, a great ball with a level 1 driver could certainly spell hazard, so I got lucky to be in the fairway. For the second shot, be aware that there is a dangerously skinny rough bump just before the green, but with this basic ball and Viper level 4, it's not an option. Therefore, I opt to play safe to the left side of the green. I adjust for 10% downhill elevation and add backspin to safely stay on the fairway. If you have a longer reach with your second shot, a Goliath adds a nice amount of topspin and opportunity for a possible rough bump drop. I played the wedge shot here at negative 10% uphill elevation, so if you find yourself in a similar situation to me, that should be the same setup for you. Otherwise, set this up per your standard wedge adjustments, and this should be a routine drop once you get it this close. I like to approach the drive on hole 6 from the right side of the trees. However, you aren't wrong to play it from the left either. I used my extra mile with 4.5 topspin and 1.5 bars of left spin, and a katana ball here in this example at 10% downhill. You will likely see me play a Titan ball here in the tournament just because I have more of them in my inventory, and to me, also, that helps ensure an easier to reach second shot. Position the drive with half the red ring in the right rough and your second bounce just past the hazard. For this second shot, you can see that I'm trying to size up a rough bump, and I'll show you that shot in just a minute. However, instead I chose to play the safer option, which is to bounce over the water and get the ball to green. Top left of the red ring, touch the rough with 4 backspin and 2 left spin is a nice starting place for this adjustment at 10% downhill. As you can see, this hole presents a real opportunity for Albatross, and I think it will actually separate the winners from the rest of the pack for those banners come the weekend. I played the drive for this shot exactly the same as the one we just saw, but managed just that little extra distance to give us a shot at the rough bump. Therefore, I recommend a power 3 ball, which will always give us the reach for the second shot. I set up with the top of the yellow ring touching the fringe and the left of the yellow just dipping into the bunker. I adjust at 10% downhill elevation here, and I should have used about 1 to 2 bars of backspin. Yet, you can see how this is a very makeable shot for a big possible Albatross. If you ask me, hole 7 is easily the most difficult par 3 on this course. Once again, I approached the shot with my level 1 backbone and a basic ball. I highly recommend at least using a ball with some side spin, as even a marlin here would have given us a much stronger chance of a drop. Yet, by setting up in the small fairway patch to the left of the pin, adjusting for 10% downhill and adding a bar of topspin combined with as much right curl as I've caught, I'm still able to get a reasonable result. Truly, we'll have to see what kind of wind the tournament gives us to determine the best play here. I consider an eagle on hole 8 to be a massive boost in the standings for any rookie player. I set up with a low-level extra mile at 10% downhill and add 2 bars of topspin or more, as well as some right curl and overpower to compensate for this tour play headwind. In the tournament, we won't have headwind on a par 4 and rookie. However, aim for the same final resting spot that you see my ball land here to give yourself a nice angle of approach to the pin. There are 2 main ways that I approach this green, and I'll show them both. The first way is the more conservative of the two. Apply 2 bars of topspin with any short iron and aim for your second bounce to land up between the greenside bunkers. I add as much left curl as this Apache club allows, as well as some overpower to counteract the headwind. Adjust this shot for 10% downhill elevation, and you'll safely putt for birdie every time. Using a ball with more side spin and a club with more ball guide, it is technically possible to sink this shot, but in my opinion, it's not the very best way to get the drop here. The second way that I like to play hole 8 is to approach the drive with a quarterback. Using a quasar ball, I add 2.5 topspin and maximum right spin. As well, we add about 3/4 of a ball of right curl and about 3 rings of overpower here. Now finally, you want to adjust this shot for 10% downhill elevation, and the idea with this drive is to dial in a yardage where our second shot will be in thorn range. To execute the second shot, we'll be attempting a dunk. Be sure to add maximum backspin before making any shot adjustments. Zoom in very close to the cup and aim near the back. I adjust this shot with 10% uphill elevation. Sadly, I wasn't able to execute a clean enough adjustment, and we do just miss here. But as you see, there is a lot of green to work with behind the hole, and we're still left with an easy putt. There is a small chance that you could hit the pin and roll back into the bunker, but to me that's a chance that I believe is worth risking for many players to have a very, very excellent chance here at a nice eagle. The name of the game for the drive on hole number 9 is distance. You see me play here with an extra mouth 3 and a basic ball. However, in the tourney I recommend at least a power 3 ball and possibly even a max topspin big topper. Ideally, we play this drive with maximum overpower to get as much distance as possible for our second shot. There are a few ways we can approach it from the fairway, and the small strip to the left is likely your safest bet. However, I will demonstrate an altered path. Due to the relatively short distance of my drive, there is realistically zero chance that I can get to the green in 2, so instead I choose to get there in style. First, I must use a wood club such as the Viper, Sniper, or Big Dog to get as far down the right fairway as possible. If you have a horizon, this is a great spot to use its maximum topspin to roll beautifully up the left fairway strip and possibly to the green. Instead, our layup leads us here, and to execute this rough bump with my lower level setup, it works out to be a mid-distance long iron at 10% downhill elevation. I wish I had more ball guide and left spin to have a real run at the pin, but I played as aggressively as I felt, I realistically could to avoid the hazards. Apply 2 bars of backspin and as much left spin as you have available. With a little bit of precision and some luck, you'll have a highlight reel eagle for the ages. Good luck. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to my rookie walkthrough for the Sakura Hills 9-hole Cup. If you have any comments or feedback, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll respond as soon as I can. Also, please remember to subscribe now to join Erelic Gaming and not miss out on any of my future content. Good luck.